had to go digging deep to get this out of my completed kits collection. But let's see how well this vintage HG1100 Deathscythe Hell stands up to time. It's time for After Report. What's going on, comrades? It's your Supreme Leader KouldbayneGames here, and today for After Report, we're going to talk about the HG1100 Deathscythe Hell Custom. Now, I remember having this kit as a kid. I remember getting in trouble trying to get this kit as a kid. That's a long story for another day. But this is probably one of the oldest kits in my collection. It's from the vintage days of Gunpla, when these kits were made back in the... When did this one drop? I remember picking this up, though, a while back. But I don't see a date on this. Okay. Normally there's a date, but this one's kind of missing the date. This comes from the movie Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, the OVA, whatever you want to call it. But this is probably one of the oldest kits in my book, or in my collection. And I'll tell you right now, it was one of the first 1/100 kits I'd ever built. Growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of, there wasn't a whole lot of grading on here. So you didn't get, master grades and high grades and things like that. Or you did get them, but they didn't really, they weren't exactly easy to come by. But right off the rip, this kit was one of the ones I had to have growing up. I had to have it for a long time. And finally, when I did get it, it was a blessing. But let's take a look at it. This has probably been 4 years since I've built this. Maybe a little bit less time. Maybe a little bit less time than that. Probably about 3 years since I built this. Right off the rip, I will say that this kit is not a very sturdy kit, just because of the age of the kit. They use a lot of rubber polycaps, which don't hold up well. The head is really well done. Cool thing about the head here, and I'm gonna try to show this the best I can, is instead of using a plastic piece. First off, let's see if we can get that backpack off. That backpack is super loose, by the way, guys. So posability is going to be it's going to be kind of hard here. These older kits weren't exactly built for sturdiness, and they weren't extremely durable when we built them back in the day. But they had a lot of movable parts there, as you can see. The shoulders are really well done. Super loose, though. So again, just be mindful of that when you're working on these kits. You can see that this is probably one of my older builds here, because you can notice, if you notice, trying to do this without bumping my mic, there's just so much going on here. But you'll notice there are some bits where there's leftover runner undergating, just because it was such a difficult build at the time. But I've gotten better since I've gotten a lot better. This is probably one of my first builds outside of this was back when I was with my Gundam build group. But it's really a nice kit, really a tall kit too for a 1/100. It doesn't really comparative wise. Let's look at it compared to what I'm currently working on here, which is the MG Dayband, or not Dayband, but Dragon Momoko that I'm working on right now. The Deathscythe Hell Supernova. As you can see here, detail-wise, the Supernova is kind of a newer model. Does have some more detailed parts. But the original Deathscythe here, the original Deathscythe Hell here, this is an early 2000s model, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely has some interesting characteristics here. Like I said, the parts aren't on there really well anymore. They do come off super easy. They're not difficult to get back on, but again, with these older kits, polycaps were kind of a big deal back in the day. Let's see if I can get that back on. There we go. There, that's a little stiff now. I think that'll hold in. But as you can see here, detail-wise, it has a really nice backpack on it. Just a really deep cloak which closes around it. I guess. Yeah, it will close around it. You just gotta, like, fold in those chest pieces, which you can't see, but I'm folding them back in. I'm just doing it close to me, so that way if anything comes off, I can find it. But it does close around the kit, which is one of the things that Deathscythe was known for. He does have these interesting blades here that do fold inward and outward. Just a really nice looking kit, really clean looking kit too. There wasn't a whole lot of decals on this one if I remember correctly. I know that there was the ones for the eyes, the ones for the camera, and the ones for the cheek. I don't remember many other decals. There might be some. Nope, there are no other decals. So that was pretty much it. As you can see detail wise here, and I'll go ahead and bring it closer so you can kind of see some of those details there. Those decals didn't quite go on perfectly. And it wasn't a terrible build. I remember doing this one pretty much within a day, so probably about 4 hours. At a 1/100 HG is kind of a rare thing to find. They don't really make 1/100 HGs anymore. Cool thing about this HG compared to others is the hands do close, so you can kind of get a good grip around the beam scythe that's right here. I always liked the beam scythe. That was one of my favorite weapons from the Gundam universe. This one, it's really nice, but that plastic was super brittle and super thin, so it would bend really easy. Putting it in his hand, though, it will hold it, but I will warn you now that he will not grip it fully, so it will slide around in his hand. So whenever you're posing him, make sure that you kind of get that grip on there as good as you can, because it's going to slide around. That, again, the beam is going to take some damage there regardless. Posability, it does have some great joints on it, I will say that, but they are, the waist joint is loose, so just be mindful of that. Again, that's with the older kits. They weren't made to be super posable. They were made to be posable, but they weren't made to be, like, the most intricate. This is an older kit, so it doesn't get a lot of love. The backpack has this pretty cool swivel on it that allows you to kind of, like, pose that in certain ways. It does need a little bit of tightening up, though, I will say. Especially around the wings. Those shoulders there, that's they do have some movability, but you got to be real careful with them because they will break easily, or they will like lock up on you. So that's pretty much how that looks there. Okay, coming up now, I want to show off just a few things here that, like I said, you got the interesting dynamics with the wings here. You got the posability of the joints. These joints are really posable, really. I'm trying to give you a good view here, and I keep looking at it as I do it, but it's got some great posability for being an older kit. The shoulder joints are a little hard to pose just because you've got the backpack, which can get in the way. So if you wanted to pose it in an ultimate pose, again, that's going to be kind of an issue there. The wings don't really hold up well after like a few minutes of wear and tear, but again, with this being an older kit, it's forgivable. It's totally forgivable. Alright, so one of the bonus things about these kits, these 1/100s that we used to get, was that you would get a small 1/100 scale character to go along with it. And here, I'll put my hand there so it doesn't whitewash. But you would get a little duo Maxwell with this one, or you would get each one of these 1/100s, you would get the character that piloted it. And I remember having this one, and I had the heavy arms. I had most of these growing up, and the Wing Zero, and these were all from the series. You had the Tall Geese. There was the Tall Geese 3 that had Zex in it, and then there was Trey's Cushionado with the Epion, which was really cool. I thought these were a lot of fun. Again, detail-wise, super well detailed. You could paint these if you wanted to. I was never good with painting, so I left it kind of blank. I might try to paint that later on because Duo is one of my favorite characters of all time. He really is one of my favorite pilots. But, yeah, so, I mean, again, looking at this kit in retrospect, this was probably an easy 1/100 to build. You will not be able to find many of these much anymore for a good price. I think because this is my second time building this one. The first one I lost. It was destroyed in a move, so unfortunately I don't have it anymore. But with that being said, this is a must-have kit for the collector who loves Gundam Wing and who loves Deathscythe. It is a Deathscythe fans ultimate kit to have. And I love the way that the backpack kind of just slides in place and locks in place and kind of covers the kit well. It is not perfect. It's not a perfect connection though, so it won't hold well together. But again, posability. I love the fact that the foot actually has pretty good posability, and you can turn everything. You can turn these joints really well. Again, they feel very loose just because it's an older kit. But here's the foot. I'll show you that one more time because apparently my camera angles just... I'm not looking at my camera angles today. I'm looking at the kit. But just really well detailed here. Just really well done. So, yeah, that's the kit in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 1100 HG Deathscythe Hell Custom from the Endless Waltz line. Definitely something that I cherish the most. It's one of my favorite kits of all time. It was not a hard, like I said, not a hard build. Super easy, super fun, and super affordable back in the day. That was like a $20 kit back in the day. So it was definitely worth the money. But anyway, comrades, that's it for today's after report. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all can follow me on all of my social medias. There is a link tree in the description below that'll take you there. Check out my merch shop as well. That's in that link tree. That'll take you to find some awesome KBG merch to help support the channel. We've got t-shirts, pillows, cups, everything out there that you can imagine. Go out there and snag you something. Also, at this point in time, we are starting our vacation, so this will probably be the last video for about a week and a quarter. I might be putting up some more videos later on this week. I'll be streaming again once we get back from vacation a week after, so stay tuned for that. Also, guys, go check out my wonderful sponsor, Dubby. Dubby makes some amazing energy drinks that don't leave you feeling sick. You don't get the jitters, you don't get the weird crash that you get from like most energy drinks, and on top of that, they're delicious, guys. Super delicious, and not so terrible on the calories. It's not bad. Each scoop of Dubby is just a flavor bomb of just full explosion of flavor. And one tub will last you a month. And you're wondering, KouldbayneGames, where can I get that Dubby? There is a link in the description below that'll take you there. Also, whenever you go to checkout, please use my coupon code KouldbayneGames at checkout to save yourself some money. Guys, times are hard. Money's tight. There's no reason you shouldn't have a nice cup of Dubby to help you get through that day. So use the coupon code KouldbayneGames at checkout to get 10% off that purchase. Again, that is KouldbayneGames for 10% off your purchase. But anyway, comrades, that's it for today's video. I want to thank y'all so much for watching. Much love, and das vidanya.